Tommy DeVito, can he do it again against New Orleans?
DeVito, it's kind of like, I'm here for all the memes. I'm here for the feel-good story. But, like, this isn't a game that I'll be rushing to put on any of my screens. I think what he's been doing is he was taking sacks at a higher rate than Sam Howell. And then all of a sudden last week, you see him realize, okay, if I'm going to be out here, I can't be giving up those kind of yardage that comes with doing this. I need to get out of the pocket. And he was doing it. He was getting through. He was looking. And if there was pressure coming and he didn't have a pass open, then he was getting away. And he had 10 rush attempts for 71 yards. Like, if you're a quarterback and you can offer me over 40 yards rushing, I'll take it. If you're telling me that there's potential for 70-yard games, then I'm fairly interested. It's just tricky with the Giants because their pass catchers are such a poor group. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson led the team with a 35% target share last week, had 115 yards. It was the second time this year the Giants for the top 18 wide receiver. The other was Darius Slayton like 8-9 weeks ago. They just don't get any kind of production from the wide receivers typically, and I don't think that Wan'Dale Robinson is suddenly going to become consistent, particularly against the Saints defense that have been good against the pass most of the year. They're a top 10 unit against the pass in DVOA. Saquon, I think you can start Saquon because over the last 5 weeks, the Saints have the second worst rush defense in the league. Saquon, we've seen him be an RB1, RB45, RB4 in the last 3 weeks. And we've kind of seen enough sustained volume that maybe we can believe that he's got a couple more good finishes in him. On the other side of it, Olave, he's got over 100 yards, scored a touchdown in each of the last 5 games. That's been really positive. Alvin Kamara's last week against the Panthers was really disappointing, 13.5 points. It just seemed like they didn't need him out there. They didn't need to push it, so they just chose not to. And then Derek Carr, he's not been a top 20 quarterback since week 9, averaged 8 points since then, throwing 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's not a guy I want to start anywhere. I don't think that there's any upside with Derek Carr. The fans dislike him. His own offensive line dislike him. There is just no good outcome for Derek Carr right now. And when you consider that the Saints have no real way out of that contract next year, it looks pretty bleak.
It does, absolutely. The interesting nugget, though, Chris Olave's not practiced again today. So with his ankle injury, I am starting to worry that that's now back-to-back days. It could be without Chris Olave, which I think could potentially destroy this matchup because if maybe it's just fire up all your Alvin Kamara shares because I'm not sure the Saints are going to have anyone else to throw the ball to. And maybe that sort of brings that over-under down and makes it a little bit more disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a really good matchup for Olave because the Giants allow third most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. I'm not sure I've got any faith. I mean, who's healthy for the Saints? Is Rashid Shaheed back? Are we going back to A.T. Perry again? I don't know. It's in a low over-under. That's not one which I really want to get too heavy into.
Yeah, I think if Olave's out, it's don't start any Saints wide receiver and maybe just fire up Alvin Kamara and look elsewhere for your wide receivers.